every day. No compromise, no compass. Comes with this life just eyes. So to map it out, you must look inside. Sure, books can guide you, but your heart defines you, chica. Man, you already know what it is. Jay Williams, let's live life, and we're back. We're almost at 300,000 subscribers. That is beautiful to me. That is mind-blowing to me. That is, what would my son say? Epic. It's crazy to say the least. What started off with me just hitting record one day has now grown to 300,000 people. Over 60 million views. And I couldn't have done it without each and every one of you guys. Before we even start today's video, I want to say thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hearing me. There's a big difference between listening and hearing. Some people listen, but not everybody hears me. But y'all don't hear me though. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hearing me. Thank y'all for taking this journey with me. A lot of this stuff I needed to get out. I needed to share with the world. And then the feedback that I get from you guys, the people that, you know, tell me how this changed them, or this helped them, or this stopped them from doing this. It's amazing. Each one teach one, each one reach one, right? It's all I'm doing. Trying to teach the next man, trying to reach the next man. Stop the next man from ever having to walk in my shoes. So today's video, how to get out of a fight. Say you're just not that guy that's gonna knuck up. Say you're that guy that's never been in a fight before. And you're headed to jail. You're going to prison. Everybody tells you you're going to have to fight. What if you just refuse? What if you just do not have it in you to get down and dirty? What if you just are not a guy that can take a hit? Today, I'm going to do my best to teach you what I've seen when it comes to getting yourself out of a fight. Getting yourself out of hot water. Not walking around with one eye and the other eye looking like a whole entire fist. Jail, penitentiaries, facilities, detention centers, these are violent places. I don't know of any place that I've ever been that I did not see some sort of violence. I don't know where you live. You might live in Mayberry, where everybody gets along and guys go get locked up and they all just play spades all day, or tonk, or double dutch, or whatever, and nobody gets to beefing. I've never been in that situation. It's always been some level of violence. And time again, I've seen that violence pop off. And time again, I've seen guys maneuver their way throughout it and come out unscathed. Today, I'm going to share that with you guys. With all that being said, you know how to seen it. You know how to lived it. So, let's relive it. Thank you all. I want to say what's up, salute, and shout out to Cameron from South Hill, Virginia. Hey, keep doing your thing, Cameron. Stay out of trouble, man. You're still young. You got your whole life ahead of you. Listen to your mother. She loves you. Your story doesn't have to end bad. So first things first, I'm not saying I agree with any of the tactics I'm going to speak on today. But if you're not going to fight, you're going to have to do what you're going to have to do, because guys are going to try you. You need to remember now, not everybody wants to fight. But every single jail, every pod, every dorm, at one point or another is going to get a troublemaker. He is a guy that doesn't necessarily want to fight, but he's a guy that's going to try everybody. He might be a guy that fights. I've seen full-blown bullies. Yes, men that are bullies, men that prey on other men. I don't know if you would call these guys alphas or you would just call them what they are. They're bullies. You know what little bullies grow up to be? Big bullies. But with a lot of these tactics I'm talking about, you're going to have to act. A lot of this is going to require you to be Oscar nominated, Grammy nominated, whatever you want to call it. You're going to have to put on the front. Coming in at number 1, being religious. Nobody typically wants to put their hands on a man of God. I told this story before, but I'm going to touch on it and just give you an example. There was a guy that I was locked up Greensville with, an older white guy, religiously sat out at the table reading his Bible. This guy went to anything that was church related, kept all types of little homemade crosses that were made out of mop strings, trash bags, different things of those sorts to let you know, if you didn't know, he's a Christian. He's got to be a Christian. He's always got a Bible under his arm, or he's got a little Bible in his back pocket. You always see the crucifix. Thank you, brother. How you doing today, brother? God bless you. Religious greetings. We know you're a Christian. Why are you going so hard with the Christianity? I understand there's nothing wrong with being religious, and I'm not putting religion down, but you can see through it at times. Sometimes guys that are over the top of religion are either trying to avoid something or they're trying to hide something. This dude was doing both. This dude had bad charges. This dude liked to. So how does he keep from getting hurt? First of all, nobody knew his charges. But when everybody found out his charges, well, it's time to put hands on him. A lot of people are going to look at that cross and that Bible, and maybe you could say he put the fear of God in them. It didn't save him. They still ended up beating him up. He still ended up getting robbed. But you know what? Had he not had those bad charges, there's a very good chance nobody would have put their hands on him. The bad charges is what got, hands put on it. I'm going to say this. If you got bad charges, you need to have your ass kicked. If you did something like that to a woman or to a child, don't apply any of these. Go in there and punch the biggest dude you see as soon as you get there. That's what you need to do. But to everybody else, if you're just a guy that gets locked up, religion will 100% work. Pray. Hang out with guys that go to church. Go to church. Do everything church related. Super, super religious. That's who you want to be. Once again, nobody wants to beat up a guy that is a diehard Christian. It's a bad look. Maybe a Satanist or an atheist. You're not going to run across a lot of those. Everybody, for the most part, when locked up, believes in something. You might not have prayed in 20 years. Please believe this. Once you get locked up, you're going to pray. True indeed. Anybody here watching this done time is going to tell you that you're going to pray. You'll pray before your meals. You'll pray before you go to sleep. You'll pray just when you're alone. You get a little closer to God. But the closer to God you get, and the more you broadcast it, the safer you may be. That might keep somebody from punching you all up in your face. Next, your circle, the people you run with. Now, I could say, join a gang. There's a saying, if you're scared, join a gang. You're scared, get a dog. Scared, join a gang. That'll work somewhat. Yeah, it's going to keep general population off of you, but then you got to worry about getting beat up by your gang. So I do not advise you to go join a gang to try to escape violence, because by joining a gang, well, you're going to put yourself right there in the center of violence. So the circle of guys you keep around you may determine whether you have to fight or not. If you're a guy that can't fight, you're where is Waldo, you're that type of man, and you come into the jail, you come into the prison, and you happen to come into the cell with a big person, a big man, someone that everybody else respects, you are going to want to get on his good side. Why? Because if he likes you, he's not going to let anybody else do anything to you. If he likes to fight and you make it clear, hey, I don't want to fight. Hey, I'm scared to fight. Hey, I have never been punched in my face. Look after me. Now, don't let it get to the extent of where you end up becoming his wife or washing his boxers. Just, hey, man, I ain't trying to fight nobody. If I got any problems, you got my back. And if he says yes, you're in there. That's the guy you need to make friends with. A big guy, a guy that is respected by everybody else, because Had you not been around him, say, a day that somebody had a bad day, they might have punched you in your face. But when they look at you, and then they look at the people you associate with, that's going to mean a lot. If the guys you run with are guys that get victimized, or guys that get preyed on, guys that get picked on, well, guess what? I've told you, you are who you hang out with. So if you're hanging out with guys that are already getting robbed and extorted, it's only a matter of time before you get robbed and extorted. If you're around guys that get respect, guys that are known to do things, well, then people might automatically assume that you're going to do something. But even if you're not, they're going to think twice before they try something with you. Well, because they got to worry about them. So your circle, who you have around you, is very, very important. This next one is a penitentiary classic. I spoke about a guy named Cherry that I got into it with. The only other person I had ever seen get into it with Cherry besides me was another guy, a black dude by the name of Fro. Cherry did what a lot of inmates did. He played crazy. He wasn't crazy. He acted crazy, talked to himself, mumbled to himself. You'd see him sitting over there, da-da-da. But the man was not crazy. At the moment that me and him got into it, he tried to act crazy, but I could see right through it. Actually being crazy will make people think twice before they mess with you. If you're a guy that sits over in the corner and just kind of mumbles to himself, or, hey, how you doing? I mean, I don't want to be here either. Why are they all looking at us? And there's nobody there. People might think twice before messing with you. A crazy man is a dangerous man. Someone that's really off his rocker is not generally someone you want to slap around. That's the type of person that'll bite your nose off, or the type of person that'll pick up a rock and beat you until you are dead. So I have seen guys act crazy. Now, you don't have to act violent to act crazy. Crazy can be just doing things that are strange, out of the ordinary. I had a guard come by my cell one time, late night. I'm bored. I told this story. We used to get this cinnamon cake on our tray at Riverside. I wanted to get up out of here. I didn't want to be in this pod, but they wouldn't move me. What you can do is act crazy. Took the cinnamon cake, got it all wet, cleaned the toilet bowl real good, put it right on the top, and as the guard walked by, I scooped it off the top of the toilet as if it was poop, and I ate it. Acting crazy. I wasn't doing it for fear of anybody. I wanted to get over there where my homeboys were. So you know what they did? You all right? Yeah, I'm good. They got me up out of there. I actually ended up in a 5-star restraint. You don't know what that is? Google it. It sucks a whole lot. It's when they strap you to a table and you're there and you're butt naked and everybody comes in and they see you and all your business going on. But acting crazy will make people think twice before they punch you in your face. Now, I've got to say this again because somebody will try to apply it to me. I've never done any of the things that I'm talking about, but I have done a lot of time, so I've seen each and every one of them done. The next on my list, if you're not going to fight for yourself and you got money coming in or you got something to offer, like I said, if you're not going to fight for yourself and you got to do what you got to do because you are scared, you can always pay for protection. There are guys in there that love to fight that don't have much, probably because they were very violent in the outside world. They're just violent people in general. This guy is a guy that you can pay to keep everybody else from messing with you. You can also do that with the gangs. I've seen guys pay the gangs to keep people up off of you, and it will work. But here's the problem with this one. If for some reason something happens with your money and you don't pay that man, well, then you might not have to worry about just fighting the little skinny guy in the corner that you possibly could have won. But now you're going to have to fight the guy that you're paying for protection. So as long as you're sure that your money's good, money good meaning you can have money every week and that whatever you tell him you can live up to, then you just might be safe. Nobody wants to fight the guy that everybody else is paying for protection. There's a reason you're paying him for protection. There's a reason others are paying him for protection. One being because if you don't pay him, he's probably going to beat you up. And 2, paying him, well, he's going to make sure they don't beat you up. The next thing you can do is you can play the sympathy card. And when I mean the sympathy card, you've got the sob story. You've got to pour it on so thick that anybody in there that would even think about harming you would just have to be the world's biggest piece of poop to put hands on you. How you gonna beat him up, man? Didn't you hear that he's an innocent man? Yes, his mother got ran over by a train yesterday. Yes, his father was gunned down by the police. Yes, he had an identical twin that got locked up for the same thing and executed. He has had a rough life. The sympathy card will go a long way. Now, I don't want nobody in life to ever feel sorry for me. But I have seen others use the sympathy card to keep guys up off of you. A guy with tears in his eyes, and some guys aren't going to care. But the guy that's always sad and that's just got the world's worst luck and just, damn, I feel bad for that guy, man. Glad I ain't him. Generally, people don't want to beat him up. It's not a good feeling to beat up somebody that's already got a terrible life. So for the most part, should I beat him up or should I beat the loudmouth up over there? Beat the loudmouth up. Next. I've met guys that stay in the guard site at all times. When I would go into a dorm, I want to get a bunk all the way in the back. I want to be as far away from the guard as possible. I do not want them to be able to see me or what I have going on. That lets you know I'm not scared. Whatever pops off in the back, I can take care of. I can handle my own. If you're a guy that don't want to get caught up in the back, out of sight of the guards, and possibly get jabbed all up in your stuff, then you want to be seen at all times. I've literally met guys that will come in and they want the first bunk. They want the bunk that's right there next to the control booth. They want the officer at any given moment to be able to look over and be like, well, there he is. Because it makes them feel safe. The closer they are to the police, the safer they feel. Now, it is frowned upon in the inmate population amongst convicts to always be up in the guard's face, to always be talking, to be ha-ha and kiki with the guards. But guys are going to think twice about beating on you and putting their hands on you if they know that you always talk to the guards. Now, this may be what brings trouble your way. Why you always talk to the guards, man? What you up there whispering about? You know, if they come in here and they search me or they tell me or something, you're the first one I'm going to beat up because you're always talking to the guards. But then in the back of his mind, if I beat him up, I'm going to the hole. 100% I'm going to the hole because he's always talking to the guards. Staying in good with the guards and staying in sight of the guards is something that might keep you from getting beat up. But even then, if somebody wants you bad enough, they're going to get you. This one is crazy. This is one that I've seen done a couple times that it's still hard to believe that people do. Pretending to have a disease. When I was in the jail, we had a guy named Pat that everybody knew Pat had AIDS. Public knowledge. When they call pill call, Pat gets his medicine 3 times a day. Pat was in the cell with a straight up savage, an older, I don't know if he was mixed, mulatto, what he was, high yellow. Dude was that like coffee creamer color, right? Bald-headed dude. Had been to prison a couple different times. Even in the jail, he still carried himself like he was in prison. In jail was acting like he's been locked up 40 years. He'd probably done 40 years. But in his time in prison, he was also known as a booty bandit. They throw Pat in the cell with this man. Pat was not originally in the cell with this man, but he would come in, go through the transition pod, and then come in there and they put him in the cell with him. Everybody knew who this dude was. When I came into the jail, I was told right out the gate that Pat had AIDS. Pat's always sniffling. Pat's always coughing. People are weird when they're locked up. He's got AIDS. People will act like it's the flu. Like if he coughs, come on, man. And they go move away from you. I ended up going to prison with this guy, and they call diabetic call, which is when you go get your insulin shots. Get to talking to somebody one day, and I'm like, you know, Pat's got AIDS, right? Man, Pat ain't got AIDS. Pat's diabetic. Pat pretended to have AIDS while in jail to keep old boy up off of it. Nobody's going to want to punch you all in your face or do anything to your other stuff if they think that you're on fire. They think that you got something, you got that pie-out, that ninja, that contender, that one-hitter quitter, that ooh-wee, that, oh my God. If they think that you got something like that, ain't nobody trying to fight you. Don't nobody in here want your blood on them. They don't want to take the chance of getting whatever you got. So I have seen guys, if you'll go to that link, pretend to have a life-altering, life-changing death sentence of a disease in order to keep others from doing anything to them. This next one is one that I can't even believe that I'm going to say, but I've got to say it because I've seen it done. Threaten to tell on somebody. Don't be telling on people, but if people think that you will press charges, if people think that you will have more time added to their sentence and that you will stand up in the court of law and say, he did it, yeah, yup, beat me up, yup, short kicked me, punched me, yup, took the phone, ate my food, yup, and he gets to pack in. If somebody thinks you're the police, they're not trying to mess with you. I have literally seen people tell people, put your hands on me if you want to, you're going to jail. What? You hit me, I'm pressing charges. How many of y'all done seen that happen? I have seen men tell men, I will prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. Testify. Call the cops. Yes, I will go all the way in on you if you put your hands on me. You won't put your hands on nobody else. That one used to always blow my mind. The fact that you would, wait a minute. If I do what, you going, nah, I ain't got no problems. Matter of fact, I'm watching everything you do now. Dudes will do that. They will let it be known. And I will tell on you. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Point you right. You did it. Don't lie. Yeah, he did it. Officer, you make people think that you will press charges on them and tell on them. You're not going to have many friends. But I can promise you this. You're not going to have many people putting their hands on you either. Now, like I said, this is an honest list. This is a list that will keep people from beating you up. Do not tell on people. Don't do things to get yourself locked up. You don't have to worry about any of this. This list, for the most part, yes, it's very entertaining, but these are all facts. These are all things I've seen done time and time again. We say, when it comes time and you have to fight, you fight. Not everybody is going to fight. They're not. I've seen guys that are just scared to death, that have never been in a violent environment, that have never been in a violent altercation. I've had guys come to me 1,000% and say, hey, can I hang out with you? Because if I hang out with you, maybe they'll leave me alone. All these things I talked about today are the sad realities of what happens when men won't fight. But you don't have to worry about that. You know why? Because you're not going to break the law, right? You watched Jay Williams' Let's Live Life, or you watched another channel and you learned your lesson without having to do any of this. Look around you. Sniff the air. Go open your refrigerator. Go in your bathroom and use it without anyone else around. Fluff your pillow. Look in your closet. Just go for a walk down the street. These are all things you're not going to be able to do anymore. And what you're most likely going to have to do is fight. Because sometimes, no matter what you do, there's always that one guy who just doesn't care. Remember I said play crazy? When you're dealing with a crazy person everything I talked about in this video, you could throw out the window. Because he's going to do what he wants to do because he's crazy. But like I said, you don't never have to deal with none of that. As long as you don't break the law. You know what somebody told me one time? You're only a criminal once you get caught. Right? Think about it like this. If you're out here doing what you shouldn't be doing, you've got to get lucky every single time. The police only have to get lucky once. I don't know many retired criminals, retired drug dealers living in the hills and mansions. My soul keys, look at me now. Nah, I met a lot of them. They're locked up. I haven't met many that are out here free and retired from the criminal life without ever getting arrested. Live your best life. You don't have to worry about none of this. Live your best life and ain't nobody punching you all in the face. You ain't washing nobody's boxers. You're not paying Treetop or whoever else to keep people up off of you. Do what you're supposed to do. Abide by the law. Get up, go to work. Be a man. When things get tough, you figure them out. Breaking the law, it's going to end bad, man. And I mean that with all sincerity. But anyways, these jails, detention centers, these prisons, these facilities, they're all just crazy worlds inside of a already crazy world we live in. And as always, y'all know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained? And like always, this is Jay Williams. Let's live life. And to all my real ones, and there are some real ones watching, because y'all still watching me. Man, y'all know how we do it. Salute. Man, I'm tired. I'm going in the house and going to bed.